Well, well, well. Hello there, Mr. Josh. Mr. Wormke. This is just a quick impromptu let's get on. I mean, Mr. Jones, how you doing? I figure I'd just go in here and run my mouth for a minute and bore the hell out of some people. Oh, you poor saps who thought you'd come on in. Miss Linda Barker. Chavez, right? How you doing? Well, we are here in Emerson, Georgia at the Loves. Been here since Saturday morning. Chavez, I do not use Trucker Path. I did not find it to be in any way useful for me. You know, like I said, that's opinion. I'm not trying to downplay the app. I'm not trying to say that the app is worthless or good or anything of the other nature. I'm fairly neutral on it. I just did not find Trucker Path to be useful. Stephanie Jimenez. All right, California City. I was just out in California. Literally. I was out there this past weekend, loaded down in Blythe, California at 126 degrees out in the desert, bringing a transformer from a solar power plant out in California here to Georgia. Ag Hauler, how you doing, sir? Long time no see. I don't know if you're still up in Colorado, but good to hear from you. Miss Jessie Miller. Everybody, please go over to Jessie Miller Unboxings and More. She just celebrated being on YouTube for a full year. Yeah, 109 degrees. Yeah, that's no fun. Well, today is not too bad. I mean, it's been pretty overcast, little sprinkle here and there. You know, it's been basically fairly okay today. I mean, yesterday was a little bit hotter, but there you go. Josh, I've said this before. I've driven a Volvo with a Volvo D13 engine. I drove a Kenworth T680 like we have right in here with a PACCAR engine, and my 389. I have the X15 efficiency engine here. I really can't compare them all because they're all hooked up to different types of different transmissions. The first two, the Volvo and the T680, were both automatics. I'm driving an 18-speed now, which more than the engine, the transmission gives me better control. That's the main thing. And Miss Rhonda Tolliver, how you doing? Dana, how you doing? I don't know where you are. Hopefully you got home for the weekend. Well, hopefully you got out of Denver. You know, I don't know how long it took you to get that truck fixed, but hopefully you got out of Denver without too much of a hassle. Tehachapi, yes. When I went from Delaware, taking a 12-foot wide load, I took that out to Riverdale, and then another partial load up to Gridley in California, and I came through Tehachapi. Hey, Miss Gina Payne, how you doing? Yeah, it took a week. Yeah, I kind of figured that's, the problems you said you were having, that sound about, what I've heard other people say and what I've experienced as well. So hopefully that hotel you were in wasn't too bad. Hopefully, they didn't give you a whole lot of grief for Dewey there. I mean, the fact that they let him in to begin with shouldn't have been a problem, but a full week of that, some places, even if they allow pets, they're pretty strange after a full week. But like I said, not much doing. I've been sitting here. I made my delivery Friday down in Butler, Georgia. And there was a little bit of a hoo-ha about that, because they gave me the wrong address to begin with, and nobody corrected it. No, the broker didn't correct it, didn't tell my manager or sales team back in Minnesota. Nobody corrected it from the broker. The receiver and the shipper both stated, because basically it's the same company, so they stated that the address that I was given was incorrect. And apparently the broker said, okay, we'll go ahead and fix that and transmit the correct address. And that was before I even picked it up. So, like I said, picked it up in Blythe, California, which is basically like 15 miles, 20 miles away from the border with Arizona on I-10. Arizona, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. 2,400 miles, 2,500 miles almost. Straight across the southern tier of America. I didn't think anything about asking whether the address was correct. I should be able to assume that it's correct, because all the people involved, whatnot. But I took my load all the way to Dublin, Georgia, which wound up being about 115 miles away from the correct location. So I had to spend an extra 4 hours getting to the correct location after getting things finally right. So, but other than that, the trip was easy. It was simple. A 16,000 pound transformer at a solar farm, generating electricity from the sun. No big deal, super easy. But here's the thing. The main reason why I needed to come back to Georgia immediately was so I can renew my medical card, my DOT physical, because that is due on the 16th. Now, because I was going to get it done Friday, I would have been done relatively early. I would have gotten up here to Emerson, got a parking spot. My sister would have come up, taken me to the doctor's office, bing, bang, boom. No problems. Well, that didn't quite happen, so we are now basically sitting around all weekend doing nothing. Basically just vegging out. Yeah, that's not a parking spot. If you're going to be stopped, you could have at least put your blinkers on. Whatever. Alright, so, today being Sunday, I'm still sitting around doing nothing. Still have not been shopping, so I have really no fresh food on the truck. So no cooking videos for the past week, couple of weeks here. No cooking video today. But, there you go. Let's give this an attempt here. Let's see if this works here. Now I can really scare away the people here. There we go. Now I can really scare away the people here. All right, so yes, unfortunately, this is me. So Monday, a lot of things have got to happen. One, like I said, first thing in the morning, sister is coming up from the house. Now about 40 minutes away at the most. We are getting a lot of stuff from Amazon that I've ordered over the past couple of weeks. So, you know, bring it to my sister's house. She'll bring it up here. Just throw it in the truck and go. Go down, do my physical, you know, eye, ear, balance, whatever they feel is appropriate. And that always changes. Sometimes they're doing a groin, you know, making sure your groin is okay, making sure your hearing's okay. Some people want to do a balance test. Some people want to do a squat, stand-up test. You know, it's different every time. There's no real consistency for what they want. I think there's a certain guidelines for, you know, what they need, what they should check, and I think a lot of them just pencil whip it and go from there. But like I said, ours is due on the 16th, so no matter what, I have to get it done the next couple of days. But here's the good thing. Once I get that done, that should not take more than an hour. Come back here, get some things straightened up, to basically just get everything that I put into the truck into the back. Just throw it back there. I can't really mess with it right away. We are going to be going from Emerson, Georgia, up to Resaca, Georgia, on I-75. We're going up to the Thermo King, which is right next to the Pilot Flying J there. We're going to have them look at this APU that stopped working 4 days ago, which in the summertime heat, not been all that comfortable. Let's just say sweaty, hot, uncomfortable, not really sleeping that well. Just, you know, a pain in the ass, you know. But it is a machine, it is a mechanical device. Things break. You know, I can do all the maintenance I want with checking the oil, make sure the belts are good, make sure all the connections are good. You know, we can do all that and make, you know, do the proper maintenance, the preventative maintenance as I can do it. I mean, luckily it worked up until I got out of California in Arizona, where it was 110, 126, like I said, when I loaded on Monday. So, you know, yeah, it's been up in the 90s and 80s at night where I was stopping on my route. Yes, I didn't sleep all that well, and I'm still not, because it's still uncomfortable. Last night was probably the first night, you know, since, where was I? Since Van Horn, Texas. I stopped in Van Horn on the second day, on Tuesday of last week. That was the last time the APU worked without a problem. So, we got from Van Horn to Tyler, Texas the next day. Then we went to Tyler, Texas to Tallapoosa, Georgia. That was Thursday. Friday we made our delivery, came up here to Cartersville, because Emerson here, it's always packed, it's always crowded, but this is one of the best places to park, in my opinion. They keep it fairly clean. The store better than the parking lot as usual for most places, but it's usually pretty quiet. There's a lot of traffic that rolls through on a constant basis, so you have to get here pretty early in order to get a parking spot. But like I said, when I tried getting in here, it was already after 5 o'clock. The ramp coming north on I-75 already had 6 trucks on the off ramp. I knew I wasn't getting a parking spot, so I just went straight past up to Cartersville. Got me a spot at the Pilot Flying J there. Yesterday, came down here, got myself parked, been here ever since. Now, Monday morning, like I said, sister's coming over, you know, Amazon stuff, go get my DOT physical done, come back, we go to Osaka, get the APU done. Now, once I get the APU fixed and I'm rolling without a problem, and I can, you know, I can have a little bit of a slight bit of comfort at night, which I'm definitely going to need because I got 2 loads. Let me find my paper here. Where did my paper? Ah, here we go. Got to find the right thing. So, yeah, well, you know, I do have the extra cameras, Jesse, that I can mount them on the inside, do a kind of picture-in-picture thing. But I'm you know, I'm fairly, I try to be as organized as I can, but I'm really disorganized right now. I'm just not in a good mood because of the weather and the APU broken down, and I'm not eating as well as I'd like to be eating. So, you know, that's the part that, you know, that's affecting my emotional state. Stephanie, yes, that is probably one of the top complaints about truck drivers, or that truck drivers have. I try to be it when, no matter what job I've ever had, whether it's being a ditch digger, weed puller, landscape, general maintenance kind of person, being a janitor where I was scrubbing toilets and running a mimeograph machine or anything else of the like, you know, carpenter, roofer, arborist, barbecue cook, pizza, you know, a Pizza Hut manager, or a truck driver. I always try to be A, a professional, and B, master my trade. You know, master the job that I'm doing. But unfortunately, we have people out there who, they get behind the wheel of a car and they seem to think that they own the road. They can do whatever they want. And you know, and they drive like maniacs. They get in there, they're too busy playing with this. You don't know how many times, I mean, I'd say a good 65 to 85% of everybody, truck drivers and people in their little cars, playing on their phone as they're driving down the highway 50, 60, 75, 80 miles an hour, not paying attention to what they're doing. I mean, I got it sitting right here. I mean, literally right here. I mean, let me move this out the way so maybe you can see this here. You know, I have an 18-speed gearbox to operate. You know, all right, so here's my dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus, you know, 5 right there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's, you know, that's 15, 19, 22 gauges, right to 22 gauges that I have to monitor while I'm driving. Right? I got my GPS, I got my CB, I got my ELD computer, I got my phone. You know, and then I have to watch out for the weather, the road. I'll put that back so I can read the comments. You know, I have to watch the weather, the road, the traffic. You know, I have to think about what laws I have to abide by. And then if I'm oversized on my load, I have to worry about an extra width or extra height or extra weight. So, you know, it is a bit more complicated than, your average person in a car. Most people in a car don't pay attention to any gauges. They don't turn their head, look in them mirrors, look in them mirrors. You know, it's surprising. It's scary sometimes. And flashing your blinkers, it is appreciated. Don't get me wrong on that. But flashing your lights is not in any way necessary. I appreciate the courtesy, but as a truck driver, there's a couple of things I want. One, merge onto the highway properly. Two, stay away from my left side and my right side. Don't follow too close behind me. Three, when you want to pass me, don't lollygag on my sides, right? Don't sit there and go 1 mile faster than me. Hit the gas, get around me as fast as possible. One, that's safer for you in your little Hyundai or Toyota Tacoma or whatever you're driving. Get around us as fast as possible. Do it safely. When you can see me in those mirrors, you will be able to see my face. Look in them mirrors. When you see that I see you, then go. Don't dilly-dally. Don't creep along like Cecil Turtle. Get past me when you are about to pull back into the lane. Right? It's a simple process. Turn your flashers on. 5 blinks before you start moving. Move over slowly. A minimum of 5 blinks on that flasher. Change from one lane to another. Do not turn your turn signal off until you are fully in the lane. Don't just go 1, 2, bam, cut right over. That's reckless. That's dangerous. Number 4, when you make that pass, you need to make sure that you have a full truck length, not the length of your car, a full truck length, 75 feet minimum. And when you have a road ahead of you and you have a quarter mile before you have anybody in front of you, there's no reason to be cutting over 3 feet off of my bumper. You would not believe how many times I'm out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, or nowhere, Arizona, wide open. I cannot see anybody ahead of me. Somebody maybe behind me by 200, 300 feet at the closest. Little car trolling past me, barely passing me, at like 1 mile faster than I'm going. Clear road, no reason to get over. Right in front of my bumper, where I can barely even see the car over the hood. Right? You put a little car that stands maybe 5'5" at the roof line over this hood. How am I going to see that? How am I going to see that? That's dangerous. Give me all the room in the world. Yeah, TJ Jones. I got my Bluetooth here. I actually have 2 of these. So I have 2 of the same exact models. 7 hours of talk time on each one. When one dies, I plug it in. Take the other one right up here off of the little rack I got here. Up here, hang on the thing there. I listen to audiobooks, podcasts, music, talk on the phone. I do all that hands-free. It's not hard. It's 2020. We're in the 21st century. We're living in the future. We don't need to be holding it in our hands. The only other pet peeve that I have with four-wheelers, quote unquote, when you are merging onto the highway, this is something I wish I've seen maybe 1 or 2 people in the past 4 years, or 3.5 years of truck driving almost. As soon as you get on the on-ramp, the very top from that intersection, from there, you should automatically have your turn signal on. From the very top to the very bottom, your turn signal should be on. 2, you should be looking out your window, looking in your mirror to see where the traffic is on the highway. 3, you should be adjusting your speed. If you're in front of a truck and you're getting up to the highway speed, there's no reason why you should be slamming on your brakes right when you're in the acceleration lane. You know, and for the most part, a lot of highways where you're going to have a lot of on and off ramps, it's not hard to get up to speed, especially in a car. And a lot of times, the cars can go faster than the trucks. The speed limit is reduced for the trucks. So like around Nashville, 55 miles an hour for the trucks. The cars can do 65 miles an hour or more. There's no reason why you can't accelerate and get in front of me. And then just like when you're merging over, passing me, blinker until you're fully in the lane, then turn your blinker off, and then go. Get out the way. Oh yeah, TJ. I agree with that. The amount of moving violations that I see on a daily basis. When I drive 600 plus miles in a day, I see 50, 60 tickets that I could be writing real easy. But that's just me being a jerk. So, there you go. All right, so we already have a reload scheduled. We actually got it on Friday, but because I have these other tasks that have to be completed, we're not going to get to it until basically Tuesday morning, but whatever. So we have here a release, what they call a release form here. It just gives me, some numbers, basic description of what I'm getting up, weight and whatnot. Okay, so we have 6 John Deere 6155M tractors. If you want to Google that, look that up. 6155M 2020 model. Each one weighs 13,337 pounds empty. That's also without fuel, coolant, hydraulic fluid, all that stuff. That adds a little bit more to it. That's the dry weight. You add all that other stuff onto it, we're just going to say 13,500 pounds. So we are going to go to Brunswick, Georgia, which is right down near Savannah, a little bit north of Florida, right off of I-95. So we have 6 of these tractors to pick up. I can only get 3 at a time. Yeah, Linda, I mean, it's one of those things where the more information that you guys have who aren't truck drivers, you understand, I don't want to say our mindset or our attitude. Our attitude is pretty bad, but when you spend your life in this little cubicle like I do, it can get stressful sometimes. You know, you think dealing with traffic in a nice sedan or SUV is uncomfortable for 4 hours. 10 or 11 hours in this driver's seat, you know, 550, 650 miles in a day, it can be pretty aggravating sometimes. But you know, I try to just vent, get a little loud at myself and yell at the camera, whatever I'm doing. Then it's gone. You know, it just let the bad vibes flow out the window. You know, that's what this little crack up's here for. So when I say something and curse somebody out, let it go right up through the window here and float out into the atmosphere. And it gets redundant. Yes, sir, Mr. Jones. And you start to wonder why you do it. You know, why do I do this job? Well, I like the job, but you know, whatever. All right, so back to what I was talking. So on this list here, that's going down to Belle Glade, Florida, which is right on the southeast coast of Lake Okeechobee. So you got Orlando, Lake Okeechobee, Miami. We're kind of right in the middle of that, you know. It's we got we got where we're picking up from, where we're going to. We're going to a John Deere dealer there. So we got on this list are 7 tractors. I'm taking a minimum of 3. More than likely I'm taking all 6 because there's not going to be anybody else in the area. So like I said, each one weighs 13,500 pounds. Each tractor is a separate load, a separate trip. And we got the serial number so we know we're picking up the correct ones. Now there's also a 9420R tractor coming out of Waterloo, Iowa, which is going to be on a truck that has a trailer that can handle the larger tractor. So that 7th one here, which weighs 43,880 pounds. Dang fly. Find their way in, but they won't find their way out. So one truck is going to take 1, and then one truck is going to take 3, possibly 6. So once I pick up my load Tuesday morning, drive all the way down to Lake Okeechobee, Belle Glade, Florida, and deliver that. I could do that in one day. So Wednesday, drive down there, or Tuesday, load, drive down, unload. That's a pot. I can do that. Wednesday, drive back up to Brunswick, reload, drive a portion of the way down. I won't make it all the way back down. That's just not possible. First of all, that's like 725 miles total to go one way and back. I can't go that fast. And then you put on loading and unloading, the amount of time, I just couldn't do it. So that'll mean Thursday I will deliver. Now that means I'll be in Florida Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon at least, before I get another load possible. Now if I do wind up that I'm stopping in Florida for Thursday evening, I'm going to run up to Haines City, Florida, which there's a restaurant called Manny's Chop House. Haines City, Florida, off of US 27, if my memory serves me right. Yeah, US 27, Haines City, Florida. There's a Pilot Flying J right there. And like I said, right across the street, there's a Sonny's Barbecue, which is okay for a chain. And, you know, 300, 400 feet south of that is Manny's Chop House. One of the few restaurants that I have been thoroughly satisfied with since the first one. I got recommended when I was getting some work done, you know, at the local Rush Truck Center there. And I was thoroughly amazed. The fish was great. The rolls were great. They actually know how to cook a baked potato without screwing it up, which is kind of surprising. You know, you'd think a baked potato would be easy to make, but you'd be surprised how many people can't even cook a baked potato. But we got that done. Well, like I said, we'll get that done. And then we got to see whether or not we're getting a load out of the area right away. Because the way this company operates, you know, sometimes we're cut out of certain loads. We don't carry tarps. We don't carry ramps. Load levelers. Some trucks have load levelers, but you know, but we don't. Not every truck has them. A load leveler, because I got. Let me show you the trailer here. Let's see. You see that trailer back there? You have an upper deck and a lower deck. Right. So if I have a load that is too long for the lower deck, over 37 feet, I need something that raises that lower deck height up to the same level as the top deck, because you know the trailer looks like that. You know, top deck up here, a wall right there, and then lower deck here, which is 37 feet. So, you know, if I needed to have, like I said, if I had a load that was 48 foot, 50 foot, I would need a load leveler, which is basically just an aluminum structure or 2x4s built up to, you know, equal that height out, to find the height out. But we don't carry that. So the consequence of no tarps, no ramps, no load levelers means that there are some loads that are available to pick up, but we just don't have the equipment for it. So I could be sitting in Florida Thursday, the second half of Thursday, all of Friday, and then through the weekend. That's a distinct possibility. So, but we don't know. I mean, this load here, I mean, these 6 loads, these 2 trips here to Okeechobee, Florida, luckily I had them already assigned to me back on the back on the 8th, 4 days ago. So that was a bit of good fortune, but there you go. You're going to Boise. John Deere parts. Yeah, that's the biggest thing besides the heat, the humidity. It's that guaranteed afternoon massive downpour, then clears up. I can't do that. You know, I'm not made for that kind of weather. Going to truck driving school. That, like I said, it benefits me, so I do it. You know, but having seizures, yeah, I would say that having your husband there, that's a little bit more important than you know, than other things. You know, that's I can't imagine having to deal with that. And I'm pretty sure your husband is scared to death every time you have a seizure. You know, I know what it's like to be in a relationship, well, let's just say a marriage, even though not official, but I considered it so. Having someone who has a chronic illness And I mean, I was home every day, you know, because what I was doing, you know, I was home every day, but still getting that kind of phone call when you're not at home, that's scary. You know, dealing with the hospital, you know, that I can understand your husband's how do I want to put it up, his reluctance to not leave, you know, given the way that the trucking industry is. They want you to go out, you know, do OTR for a long time, then try to find a local job. You know, it's almost impossible just to jump right into a local job. So, you know, and trucking is not for everybody. I mean, I can freely admit that. You have to have, it's best, quote unquote, in my opinion, if you have a certain personality type. Being a bit of an introvert helps. One of the few times it helps. You know, being able to be in solitude for extended periods of time, which for most people it's 2 weeks, maybe 3 tops, and they go home. Being, like I said, being a natural introvert, which it may not seem like it here on camera, but I do the YouTube to help kind of force me out of that, because otherwise I'd be a miserable hermit. Yeah. Mojave. So, oh yeah, you said you were in California City. Yeah. I mean, I got a question for you, Stephanie. How do you people live without the greenery, without the trees, and without the rain, without snow? I just find it, I think you guys are insane. I'm not trying to be mean about it, just it is such an alien landscape to me. You know, I'm from Baltimore, I'm a northerner, I'm a Yankee. I need trees, I need green, I need rain, I need snow in the wintertime. I need to not be 1,000,000,000 degrees with 4,000% humidity. You know, I need to not have to, I need to be able to walk outside and not immediately burst into flames. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, kudos to you for tolerating that, but I just couldn't do it. You know, it has a stark beauty at times, but I couldn't do it on a steady basis. You know, you're one up on me. Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who deals with a form of epilepsy and has had seizures, and seen him passed out and shaking, and you know, that's a scary thing. I mean, I've been blessed not to have an affliction like that, so I can understand. You know, I can understand his desire not to be away, because he would want to do what he can, you know. So I appreciate that. All right, so like I said, we are here. It is 6 o'clock now. San Fernando Valley. Just came through there not too, a little more than a week ago. Oh man, yeah, I mean, well, let's see, okay, so I went from the 1st of June from Delaware, well, when the 1st of June? It was June sometime. From Delaware out to California, which was a 3,400 mile trip to Riverdale. Then I went up to Gridley, north of San Francisco, did that. Got a load from Madera, California, Took that up to Seattle. Seattle, I waited 4.5 days for my next load, which was from the south side of Seattle down to Chula Vista, which is basically San Diego, right on the Mexican border. So I've come through the San Fernando, San Bernardino, Fontana, Ontario, been through Torrance. Like I said, I took I-5 from Seattle all the way down. So I went through San Clemente, Oceanside, Carlsbad. You know, I went through all that area. And hearing the price of some of these houses, you know, and it's not even a major house. I mean, the house is no bigger than this entire truck. You know, going for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 on no land. I mean, it always surprises me. Oh, pardon me. Yes, I shouldn't be drinking that, but I'm being a bad boy. Yeah, so, you know, I always find it funny, you know, well, I don't want to say funny, but interesting of, you know, of the quote-unquote big city. You know, I'm a Navy brat. I grew up in Japan, you know, on military bases. And most military bases are following the American ideal of a house with a lawn. So, you know, the 99.9% of people in Japan do not have a lawnmower. They don't have grass. They don't have yards as we do in America. So one house that I lived at, which was on the housing base, was right across the street from a whole bunch of Japanese houses. No fences except the fence around the yard. But all those houses, no grass whatsoever. And we had what, maybe about 1/6 of an acre, which is an incredible amount of space there in Japan. And, you know, living in a Japanese house time to time, and then, you know, even in an American city, a lot of places still have some kind of yard, some kind of grass around it. It always amazed me, you know, living in that kind of density, why anybody would want to do that. I never got it. California, especially LA, it's like, why would you want to live on top of your neighbors? It always struck me as a weird way to be. I want to be away from people a bit. I want to have a garden. I want to have, you know, a flower garden. I want to have a kitchen garden. I want to have, you know, have trees and shrubbery and flowers around the house. I want to be able to sit out on the porch and watch the lightning bugs and watch a good thunderstorm and listen to the crickets outside. You know, so definitely moving away from that area, and at least moving down towards Mojave, at least you're getting a little bit of space. Alrighty. I have a private Facebook page, but I will post my video, you know, announcing it on there for, you know, as a public post, you know, when I put a video out or a live stream out. But I don't use it for the video promotion. Let me see here. Let me go here. Let's see if I can remember how to do the link for Facebook. Let's see here. Click that. Activity log. Copy link. There we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can do this. I'll put my page up there. Now, I'm just going to warn you right up front. I do comment on political stuff. I have my views. So just understand it's not meant to be, you know, you're wrong, I'm right. It's just my view of it. So if you see something you don't like, let's have a discussion about it. I'm more than happy to have a discussion about it. But as long as we're adults, no problem. So let's see if I can. That should be it. There we go. But like I said, you know, I'm nearly 50 years old, so I have my attitude, I have my personality, I have my views. And I don't like to think that I'm so arrogant that my views won't change, but you have to have a compelling argument to do so. I don't like posting a bad attitude. I try to keep this channel, you know, on YouTube, light, a little bit of humor now and again, but I am a sarcastic SOB. You know, I'm sarcastic, I'm sardonic, I'm fairly witty, I like to think. I mean, I have enough knowledge and experience that I can be a little bit witty. 40, only my IQ. See, that's my humor. I like being self-deprecating. Nope, 49 years old. Let's see here. August the 8th. I'll be 49 and 6 months old. And see, that's the kind of humor that I like. Self-deprecation, you know, just being blasé about things when it's a joking thing. Yeah, I'd rather be, you know, be a little, you know, how do you want to say it? I'd rather have, you know, a bit of joking going on with anybody, right? Even if, especially when I don't know them. You know, when I pass somebody at the store or whatnot, you know, like here's a good example. Whenever you go to a fast food place, and you know, you place your order, and what does the cashier always, you know, for the most part say? Can I have your name? Okay, well, it's to make a name for the order so they can call it out. Makes the process easier. But I always say, why do you want my name? Weren't you given a name when you were born? Now, if they have any brain power whatsoever, any, you know, basic intelligence, they'll laugh, they'll giggle. But unfortunately, some of them are like, oh, what? You know, they get that confused look on their face. But that's the kind of humor I have, you know. When I walk out of some place and somebody's walking in, I hold the door open for them, basic civility and courtesy. But when they get close, they say thank you. I say $5. You know. Yeah. And for the most part, the vast majority of people will laugh at that. You know, and the really quick-witted will say, yeah, my check's in the mail, buddy. You know. You know, but that's what you will kind of see on the online here. Let me turn the AC down here a little bit. Got to run the truck a little bit because it's getting a little bit too warm. The sun's finally coming around this way. Let me put this up in the window here. Keep a little bit of the sun off me. At least a little bit. I mean, hopefully that doesn't darken the camera too much. There we go. Well, that's not too bad. That'll work. All right, so like I said, you know, blah 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 blah, which is all been. I mean, basically, listen to me. It's like listening to the adults on the Charlie Brown cartoons. Wah 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 wah. So there you go. All right, so like I said, tomorrow DOT physical, because this card, this medical card here, right here, every truck driver has to have one of these. This is expires on the 16th, so we're going to replace that tomorrow. Get a new physical, get a new medical card that's good for 2 years. And if you notice here, my driver's license is missing because I lost it somewhere, you know, after I did a delivery down in Tampa several months ago, and finally got my my sister's bringing my new hard card, you know, so got that done. Like I said, then repair the APU, and once we got that done, we can make our way to Brunswick, Georgia, which is about 3/4 of a day drive down there. Tuesday, pick up my load. A little over half a day's drive south. I should be able to deliver the end of the day Tuesday. Wednesday, drive back up to Brunswick, load up, part way back, deliver Thursday. Then we will see whether we have a load or not. All right. Well, I didn't have really anything to say, period, but you know, there you go. So, Stephanie Jimenez, I believe I'm pronouncing it Jimenez, if I remember my pronunciations correctly. Thank you. TJ Jones, the Bull of the Woods, thank you very much, sir. Miss Linda Barker, always a pleasure. Gina Payne, former trucker, go check out her Van Life channel, Van Life with Gina Payne. Jesse Miller, congratulations on being out here for a year, dealing with knuckleheads like me on your comment section. Josh Warmke, it's a pleasure as always, sir. Thank you very much. Dana, Wanderlust Crochet. If you're into the needlecraft, knitting, crochet, you know, fabric arts, you know, go check out her channel. Fellow truck driver, but does mainly with the with that type of stuff. Rhonda Tolliver, the lucky one, always a pleasure to have you, my dear. Let's see who else popped in and popped out. Chevy White, Wright. Sorry, my apologies. I like trying to get the names correctly. Chevy Wright, thank you very much for coming in. I think you made a mention of a Mack truck. I think I skipped over that. But Mack trucks going extinct, I don't know. You don't see a lot of them, but there you go. So, you know, like I said, we just got on to ramble a little bit. Let's see. Tomorrow, we're not really doing anything tomorrow, so I'm not going to be on live. I'm going to try from now on to do a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live stream. Indeterminate time during the day or in the evening. But because I have over 1,000 subscribers, I can again use the GoPro to do the live stream with, which is, yeah, pardon me, a little bit of the hiccups and whatnot from the soda. Now, because I don't have to use the laptop, I can live stream from the GoPro again. the live stream's gonna be a little bit more frequent. You know, normally I was confining it to cooking on the weekends. Now we're gonna do do more driving, live stream driving down the road, some more unloading and loading, live streaming that. So like I said, it's not gonna be any set time for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm trying, once I get a couple of pieces of computer equipment, I'll get back into the weekend cooking, because I got to, you know, defrost my refrigerator freezer. Then I got to do a grocery shopping. So then I'll get back into the cooking on the weekends. We're gonna do pasta, we're gonna do curry, we're gonna do stew, ribs, omelets. Like I do for everything, you know, from scratch, 100% in the truck, cooking live stream. And I know the live stream with the camera on the laptop has been a bit dark lately. I don't know why that is. I didn't adjust the settings, but I do have a light, so that's gonna be a little bit clearer, easier to see. I am planning on buying a GoPro Hero 8 camera, which will allow me to use the camera as a webcam directly through the computer, plus other benefits. So, you know, I could have the Hero 8 inside. Now I'm going to take the Hero 7 here and mount that outside while I'm driving. So, you know, I'll be able to have a little bit more interesting footage. So that's coming up the next week or so. But other than that, you know, like I said, just jibber jabber is all I'm doing today. So let's take a look at this real quick. So anybody who is not a heavy haul or not a truck driver period, here is my gear shift, right? 18 speed. Right? So get that a little bit closer. It's not as complicated as it may look. But that's what I drive. Shift 18 speeds. Low, that's when I'm really heavy. And you would shift that low high right here. So this selector is all the way down. The selector or the splitter is all the way back. So this is in the low range, right? So normally one low, which is, you know, up here, right, straight up in the middle, right? Then I would go one high, two low, two high, three low, three high, four low, four high, bring it all the way back.